विश्वविद्यालय स्थापना एवं संचालन अधिनियम in 2015 at Indore, MP, India, and is empowered to award degree as is specified under Section 22 of the UGC Act through its main campus. एक हर सेंटेंस की एक मीनिंग है. I'll brief you. In the regular mode, with the approval of the statutory bodies council, wherever it is required. The name of the university has been included in the list of the university established as per the Section 2F of the UGC Act 1956. सेशन का मतलब अपने यूनिवर्सिटी के बारे में जाने की एंटिटी कैसे है, क्या क्या कैसे रिकॉग्निशन है इसका, क्या स्टैंडिंग इसका. तो हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी क्या है, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी है और वे इलेक्ट हुई है थ्रू एक्ट ऑफ लेजिस्लेशन ऑफ द स्टेट अंडर मध्य प्रदेश निजी विश्वविद्यालय स्थापना एवं संचालन अधिनियम 2015 बोलते हैं उसको. थ्रू आवर एकेडमिक सेशन स्टार्टेड इन the year academic session 2016-17, बट हमारा जो एक्ट पारित हुआ था 2015 में हुआ था बाय द मध्य प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट. तो इसलिए हम 2015 का एक्ट इनेक्टेड यूनिवर्सिटी है, उसे 2015 के एक्ट के थ्रू. और एम्पावर्ड है, द यूनिवर्सिटी इज एम्पावर्ड टू अवार्ड डिग्री अंडर सेक्शन 22 ऑफ द यूजीसी एक्ट. यूजीसी एक्ट जहां हम बोलते हैं 1956 की बात करते हैं. 2F के तहत कोई यूनिवर्सिटी आप बनाते हैं तो उसे 2F के तहत लिस्ट किया जाता है. सेक्शन 2F ऑफ यूजीसी एक्ट 1956 इंस्पेक्शन होता है यूनिवर्सिटी का. उसमें AICT और अदर काउंसिल के भी मेंबर होते हैं, जो यूजीसी के एक्सपर्ट कमेटी आती है और वो ये देखते हैं आपके नॉर्म्स, रेगुलेशंस, रूल्स, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, लेबोरेटरीज, फैकल्टी, फंड, ये सब को देखते हुए अगर हम कंप्लाई करते हैं सब चीज़ों को तो रिकॉग्निशन देते हैं अंडर सेक्शन 2F ऑफ द यूजीसी एक्ट 1956. और जब आपको रिकॉग्निशन दे देते हैं तो उसका सेक्शन 22 है जो आपको एम्पावर करता है कि आप डिग्री अवार्ड कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज आप डिग्री नहीं अवार्ड कर पाएंगे जब तक उसका रिकॉग्निशन नहीं होगा, लिस्टिंग नहीं होगी यूजीसी. सो नाउ आवर एंटिटी इज, आवर यूनिवर्सिटी इज एस्टैब्लिश्ड अंडर द एक्ट of 2015 मध्य प्रदेश निजी विश्वविद्यालय स्थापना एवं संचालन अधिनियम 2015 and empowered to award degree under section 22 of the UGC Act 1956 and recognized under section 2F of the UGC Act 1956. Okay. अब हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी फंक्शन कैसे करती है, जैसे मैं पहले बताया कि यूनिवर्सिटीज कितने तरह की होती हैं, क्या होता है उसके, कैसे एम्पावर्ड होती हैं और फंक्शंस कैसे करती हैं. तो यूनिवर्सिटी हमारी कैसे फंक्शन करती है, इसी तरह से डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की बॉडी होती है. कहीं कुछ और बोलते हैं, कहीं गवर्निंग बॉडी को एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल बोलते हैं, कभी सीनेट कहीं बोलते हैं. हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का क्या स्टेटस है और किस तरह की फंक्शनिंग है, मैं उसको आपको थोड़ा ब्रीफ करना चाहता हूँ. अथॉरिटीज ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी, बहुत लोग कंफ्यूज होते हैं. What are the authorities of the university and who are the officers of the university? जब अथॉरिटीज लिखी जाती है, जब अथॉरिटीज बोला जाता है तो अथॉरिटीज आर गवर्निंग बॉडी, बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, एकेडमिक काउंसिल, फैकल्टी ऑफ स्टडीज और बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज. ये अथॉरिटीज होती. गवर्निंग बॉडी इज सुप्रीम बॉडी, बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट नेक्स्ट, एकेडमिक काउंसिल नेक्स्ट, फैकल्टी ऑफ स्टडीज नेक्स्ट. सो बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज, मैं इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ करूंगा आगे. बट जब अथॉरिटीज की बात है, शुड नो दैट दीज आर द अथॉरिटीज ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी. ये एम्पावर करती है, जो ऑफिसर्स काम करते हैं एम्पावर कर, तो इनके प्रोविजन एम्पावर करते हैं कि आप उस दायरे में, उस एक्ट या उस प्रोविजन के तहत आप एम्पावर्ड है इस फंक्शन को आप करने के लिए. राइट. तो अथॉरिटीज ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी शुड बी क्लियर इन योर माइंड. गवर्निंग बॉडी की कंपोजिशन क्या होती है, थोड़ा थोड़ा मैं ब्रीफ भी करना चाहूंगा आप लोगों को. आई हैव लिटिल टाइम फॉर यू. सो गवर्निंग बॉडी क्या होती है, द कंपोजिशन ऑफ द गवर्निंग बॉडी. आई विल टेल यू. द गवर्निंग बॉडी ऑफ द विश्वविद्यालय शैल कंसिस्ट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मेंबर्स. उसमें चांसलर होते हैं. चांसलर इज द चेयरपर्सन. Vice Chancellor, 3 eminent person nominated by the sponsoring body, out of which at least one shall be the eminent educationist. फिर 3 distinguished person nominated by the visitor, out of the panel 6 names submitted to the state government. में से पैनल में से 3 को नॉमिनेट करते हैं गवर्नमेंट. And one representative of the state government not below the rank of deputy secretary. ये हमारे गवर्निंग बॉडी के कंपोजिशन में, जो गवर्निंग बॉडी मीटिंग होती है, तो इसी के आधार पर हमारे मेंबर्स उसमें
देखो सर, मैं आपको एक रिक्वेस्ट
बैठते
करता
हैं.
हूं, कम से कम बोलना सीखो. तो बोले ही देना उसके, बिल्कुल चुप.
ST
आप बिल्कुल भी उसके सामने बोलोगे ना, तो आपको नहीं मालूम उसने क्या बोला था आपके सामने. किस समझदार आदमी को भेजना.
The terms
STLV.
समझदार आदमी को भेजना. अच्छा. इसलिए प्लीज ना उसके
Sir,
सामने
please mute yourself. STLV.
yes, okay, now normal. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The terms of the nominated members of the governing body will be for 3 years, and an individual cannot hold the membership for more than 2 consecutive terms. तो ये प्रोविजन, हमारे जो भी हम सिस्टम में काम करते हैं तो उसमें एक एक प्रोविजन लिखा होगा, उस प्रोविजन के दायरे में काम होता है. कोई अडहॉक बेस पे यूनिवर्सिटी फंक्शन नहीं करती है, ये फंक्शन करती है अपने रूल्स रेगुलेशन के दायरे में, जो कि हमारे एक्ट में, स्टैट्यूट में, ऑर्डिनेंस में लिखा हुआ है. जो हमारे अथॉरिटीज हमने बताया वो बैठ के डिसाइड करती है, अप्रूव करती है, उसी दायरे में यूनिवर्सिटी फंक्शन करती है. द चांसलर शैल बी द एक्स ऑफिशियो चेयरपर्सन या चेयरमैन ऑफ द गवर्निंग बॉडी. ये आपका कंपोजिशन है गवर्निंग बॉडी. नाउ द बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. द बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ऑफ विश्वविद्यालय shall consist of the following member: the vice chancellor, 2 representative nominated by the sponsoring body. हमारी sponsoring body ट्रस्ट है, ट्रस्ट के द्वारा नॉमिनेट होते हैं 2 रिप्रेजेंटेटिव. 2 representative nominated by the state government, 2 senior most professor of the विश्वविद्यालय by rotation, 2 senior most teacher of the विश्वविद्यालय by rotation. The board of management shall be constituted with the approval of the chancellor. The vice chancellor shall be the ex officio chairman of the board of management. ये हमारा कंपोजिशन था बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट का. नाउ द एकेडमिक काउंसिल. The academic council shall be the principal academic body of the विश्वविद्यालय, shall consist of not more than 15 members and shall subject to the provision of section 24 of the act. जैसा कि हमने बताया कि जो भी कंपोजिशन होता है, जो भी फंक्शन होता है, वो हमेशा एक्ट के प्रोविजन के अंडर होता है. तो ये एकेडमिक काउंसिल है, सेक्शन 24 ऑफ द एक्ट. द एकेडमिक काउंसिल शैल बी द प्रिंसिपल एकेडमिक बॉडी ऑफ द विश्वविद्यालय. ये सभी हमारे एकेडमिक प्रोग्राम, कौन से हमको नए प्रोग्राम लाने हैं या कितना इंक्रीज करना है इंटेक को, क्या हमारा सिलेबस होना चाहिए, क्या उसमें न्यू ऐड होना चाहिए, बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज के रिकमेंडेशन के बाद फैकल्टी ऑफ स्टडीज उसको रिकमेंड करते हुए फिर भेजती है एकेडमिक काउंसिल के पास. एकेडमिक काउंसिल उसको अप्रूव करती है. एकेडमिक काउंसिल इज द फाइनल बॉडी फॉर अप्रूविंग the academic programs. So उसके compositions क्या होते हैं? The academic council consists of the following: vice chancellor is the chairman of the academic council, and इसी तरह से vice chancellor board of management के chairman है, and governing body के chairman है chancellor, and registrar the member secretary of governing body, board of management and academic council. इसे एकेडमिक काउंसिल के चेयरमैन, वाइस चांसलर. बाकी मेंबर्स हैं, कंपोजिशन ऐसा है: डीन्स एंड हेड्स ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट एज पर देयर सीनियरिटी, 3 सीनियर मोस्ट प्रोफेसर ऑफ द विश्वविद्यालय ऑफ द टीचिंग डिपार्टमेंट नॉमिनेटेड बाय द चांसलर, 2 प्रोफेसर ऑफ द स्टेट और द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज नॉमिनेटेड बाय द चेयरमैन रेगुलेटरी कमीशन, कोई एमिनेंट पर्सन होता है एजुकेशनिस्ट, तो उसको नॉमिनेट गवर्नमेंट करती है। 2 representative from amongst the scientists, educationists, technologists, industrialists, nominated by the chancellor, and as I said, registrar is membership. So this is the composition of the academic council. Then there is a finance committee. Decision involving financial implications shall be taken by any authority by the Vishwavidyalaya without the prior concurrence or recommendation of the finance committee. Finance committee is playing a very pivotal role in terms of finance, managing the finance and accounts of the university. The finance committee shall consist of the following persons: the chancellor or his nominee, the vice chancellor, registrar, chief finance and account officer, one member of the governing body to be nominated by the chancellor, one person to be nominated by the sponsoring body. The tenure of the member of the finance committee and the official member shall be for 3 years. The finance committee shall meet at least twice in each financial year. वो जो प्रोविजन में लिखा हुआ है उस प्रोविजन के अनुसार जो है उसकी मीटिंग होती है. Twice in a year we have a meeting of finance committee twice in a year. So the finance committee shall control all the financial matter of the Vishwavidyalaya. So this is composition of finance committee. Now standing committee. The standing committee of the Vishwavidyalaya shall consist of the following: vice chancellor, registrar, chief finance and account officer (CFO), dean of all faculty with all the constituent institute of the Vishwavidyalaya, 3 senior heads of the department. The vice chancellor, being the chairman, may invite additional members to the standing committee as and when required. The meeting of the committee shall be convened under the direction of Honorable Vice Chancellor. The registrar shall be the member secretary of the standing committee. ये स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का कंपोजिशन है. जब भी कोई डिसीजन लिया जाता है जहां की एकेडमिक काउंसिल एंड इसके सभी मीटिंग हो गए, बट देयर आर डिसीजंस टू बी टेकन in the interest of the university on certain legal grounds as per the meeting called by Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Standing Committee, the recommendation of the Standing Committee will be forwarded to him for approval, and the same will be endorsed, and the subsequent approval will be taken from the other concerned authorities. अभी तक समझ में आया होगा आप लोगों को कि what are how many types of university, what is the UGC, then what are different bodies like governing body, board of management, authorities. We call authorities, sometimes say bodies. So governing body, board of management, academic council, faculty of studies, board of studies, those are authorities. वो composition का क्या है? फिर यूनिवर्सिटी का गवर्नेंस सिस्टम क्या होता है, यूनिवर्सिटी कैसे उसका उसका चार्ट क्या होता है, कैसे फंक्शंस होते हैं. सो गवर्नेंस सिस्टम में एज आई सेड अर्लियर, विजिटर बोलते हैं स्टेट गवर्नर, स्टेट कंसर्न स्टेट के गवर्नर हमारे विजिटर होते हैं प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी में. सो सबसे पहले क्या आते हैं, टॉप में विजिटर, देन चांसलर, देन वाइस चांसलर. वाइस चांसलर कंट्रोल करते हैं डिफरेंट विंग्स लाइक एकेडमिक विंग्स, डीन्स एंड डायरेक्टर्स, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, रजिस्ट्रार, एग्जामिनेशन, कंट्रोल ऑफ एग्जामिनेशन, फाइनेंस एंड अकाउंट्स, CFO, librarian, chief librarian. Then there are different wings under deans and director. There are constituent institute, registrar. There are different departments like academic section, establishment section, admin section, like other general legal section, HR section, like that. Control of examination by name itself. Chief and CFO controls all accounts and finance. Chief librarian take care of the library, volumes, titles, then subscription of new journals, etc. So ये आपका गवर्नेंस सिस्टम ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटी का है. As I said earlier, there are two things we always talk about: authority of the university and officers of the university. Authority, as I already said. Then I'll talk about officers of the university: the visitor, the chancellor, the vice chancellor, the registrar, the chief finance and account officer, or any such officers as may be declared by the statute to be the officers of the university. These are called the officers of the university. ये जो अथॉरिटी एम्पावर करती है, उस बेस पे ऑफिसर्स ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी अपने वर्क को परफॉर्म करते हैं. एज ए सेड द विजिटर क्या होता है हमने बताया. द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज द विजिटर ऑफ ऑल द सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी. In some legal cases, as per the Act, what Director Law said, the Chief Justice of India, as he said, if there is a provision in the Act, then it can be the visitor or the chancellor. And the governor of the state is the visitor for us. So, हमारे केस में मध्य प्रदेश के गवर्नर हमारे visitor. Chancellor shall be the head of the Vishwavidyalaya. The chancellor shall provide over the meeting of the governing body and shall, when the visitor is not present, preside over the convocation of the Vishwavidyalaya for conferring degree, diploma, or other academic restrictions. It shall be the duty of the chancellor to ensure that the provision of the Act, the rules, the statutes, the ordinances or the regulation are faithfully complied by the Vishwavidyalaya authority. ये चांसलर के बारे में हमने बताया आपको कि चांसलर वो प्रेजाइड करते हैं गवर्निंग बॉडी मीटिंग को. अगर विजिटर अवेलेबल नहीं है तो वो विल प्रेजाइड द कन्वोकेशन फॉर कन्फरिंग डिग्री एंड डिप्लोमा एंड एकेडमिक इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू द स्टूडेंट्स. He will also see that and ensure that the provision of the Act, rules and statute and the ordinances of the regulation are faithfully complied by the Vishwavidyalaya. कहीं उसके डिफरेंट या उसके जो हमारे एक्ट, स्टैट्यूट और ऑर्डिनेंसेस में प्रोविजन है, उसके डायरेक्शन के डिफरेंट या उसके अलग से कुछ काम तो नहीं कर रहे हैं या कंट्राडिक्ट तो नहीं कर रहे हैं, कंट्रावीन तो नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो चांसलर उसको इंश्योर करते हैं कि द यूनिवर्सिटी शुड फंक्शन एज पर द प्रोविजन ऑफ द एक्ट, स्टैट्यूट एंड ऑर्डिनेंसेस. The vice chancellor shall be the principal executive and academic officer of the Vishwavidyalaya and shall exercise general superintendence and control over the affairs of the Vishwavidyalaya and shall have the executive decisions made by the various authorities. He is the supreme body for the university, for functioning of the university and day-to-day affairs. And all the executive decision will pass through him. The vice chancellor shall be the ex-officio chairman of the board of management and academic council and other bodies as mentioned in the act or statutes. The vice chancellor shall be entitled to present in the meeting of all bodies. So the vice chancellor, after the chancellor, he is the chairman of the board of the management, academic council, and other bodies like standing committee. So chancellor is the chairman for governing body, and vice chancellor is the chairman for board of management, academic council, a standing committee or any other body of the university as per the provision of the Act. Then registrar. The registrar shall be a full-time salaried officer of the Vishwavidyalaya and shall discharge his duties under the general superintendence and control of the vice chancellor. The registrar shall be the key officer of the Vishwavidyalaya. All the contracts shall be signed by him. All the documents and records shall be authenticated by the registrar on behalf of the Vishwavidyalaya. The registrar shall be the member secretary of the governing body, board of management, and academic council. So he will be the member secretary. The registrar shall be the sole custodian of all the records and common seal and such other property of the Vishwavidyalaya as the governing body and the board of management may decide. So, a brief functions of all the officers. Chief Finance and Account officer, CFO जिसे बोलते हैं. Chief Finance and Account Officer shall be responsible for managing the accounts and funds of the Vishwavidyalaya, for maintaining the records of property, for regularly getting them audited. The Chief Finance and Account Officer shall supervise, control, and regulate the working of accounts and finance of Vishwavidyalaya. He will maintain the financial record and any such other finance related records of the Vishwavidyalaya as the governing body may decide. So main functions brief में हमने बताया CFO के क्या है. So these are I discussed about to cover the topic of our legacy, then the types of university, UGC, our authorities, officers of the university, their functions, role, act, statute, ordinances. So I covered till this time. So briefly, I wanted to go the university, few aspects of the university one should know. Like the university should function on the various elements or the functional areas where the responsibilities are decentralized to properly function the university, and accountability and transparency of the universities are being carried and rested with the few officers like directors, dean, or any other positions created by the universities. They are performing all those responsibilities, academic responsibilities. There are a lot of scope, how the university functions, the different areas, how our curriculums are designed, how the teaching learning process are evolved, how the teaching methodologies are used, how the scholarships are being provided to the students, then academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, students' progression, a lot of things, best practices of the universities. So there are different various topics are covered. So briefly, I will go through how the university functions in different areas other than what I said. There are key points, aspects I will just discuss, because the university cannot function unless we focus on the various norms and quality parameter of the university. So there are few quality parameters which the university is functioning and shall function to make the process very smooth and so that the university can stand with the great determination, with all the competitors where we have today. University cannot survive unless a standing procedure is adopted and the accountability is fixed. Standard procedures is adopted for making the curriculum, designing the curriculum, academic flexibility, and feedback system. It's not about what we are doing on day-to-day basis. It should be a proper analysis should be made to have a proper student, faculty, or staff feedback system. What is the outcome of those systems? Then we should also be focusing on student enrollment profile. किस तरह के स्टूडेंट एडमिट हो हमारे यहाँ, कैसे उनके how to cater with diverse need of the students because they are coming from different background, different areas, how they will cope up with the university system. So we have to focus on those areas. Teaching learning process, we have to make in such a way that the students should learn and develop holistically. As you know that NAP 2020, a lot of new initiative has taken, and the university under section 14(1), One Act 14(1), under the ordinance, we have also implemented NAP 2020. So NAP 2020 has given the student-centric approach where the holistic development of the student is done. And they have option to choose the subject of his choices. So teaching learning should be in a way that it should be student-centric. Teachers' profile and quality, the recruitment of teacher and continuous development of the teacher should always be there. Evaluation process should be accountable, transparent, and time to time reform should be made. Student performance should be and learning outcome should be endorsed, and the outcome is to discuss, understood, and disseminated. Student satisfaction should play a very important role. Until the students are satisfied, the university cannot develop because they are the ambassador of the university. So we should always have a student-centric approach. Then the university, as I said, that also meant for research. We should focus on promotion of research facilities, resource mobilization for the research. What we have today, the optimum utilization of the resources should be made for the research. We should be a research-intensive university. Innovation ecosystem, we should develop a system of innovation. Faculty should be encouraged for the publication, consultancy, and we should also give more, focus more for the extension activities. We have to make our student in a such a way that they should be accountable to the society. Until unless they learn extension activities, they cannot become a good citizen. They can become a good professional, but they cannot become a good citizen. So the extension activity, what they learn in the university, that will be benefited for the society. The ultimate aim of the education is to contribute to our society. So extension activity plays very important role. Collaborative approach. Then physical facilities should be there, like good infra, library and learning resources, IT infrastructure. We have 63,000, more than 63,000 books are there in the library, very rich library. We have physical facility over 9 lakhs square feet area we have built up with the new buildings coming up. Maintenance of the campus, it should be very good so that the learning environment is helpful through maintaining a physical infrastructure. Student support system should be there. Student progression should be encouraged to take admissions in the progression. Right? UG students should be encouraged to take admission in the PG program. If they are satisfied, they can take admission in the PG program for the progression. In different committees, events, one should be given opportunity, students should be given opportunity to participate so that they can develop leadership quality will come up. They can develop themselves. So the student participation and activity is very important. Alumni engagement is also very important. We should have, the university is having very rich alumni network. So we should explore the alumni engagement so that universities flourish. Institutional vision and leadership is very important. Strategy development plan, faculty empowerment is most important. Faculty is not there only to teach, but they should grow. They should be empowered through faculty development program, other crash courses, other activities, so that the faculty is empowered and enrich their knowledge. Financial management should be there, proper budget and planning should be there. And the university should adopt the policy of internal quality assurance system. Self-audit policy. We have to audit ourselves. We have to analyze. We have to have a feedback system through internal quality assurance system. We are having a full-fledged IQAC. And all the feedbacks and analysis of feedback is being done by IQAC. Then the university or any institution, educational institution has their responsibility towards the society. It has their values and social responsibility. So the university should disseminate to the students and it should be reflected among all. We should follow the best practices where the university should be recognized. If they take the name of the university, should know this should be known for this best practices. We are charitable institution by legacy. 1884, our trust was created with the philanthropic approach. So these are the main ingredients I wanted to discuss with you, and briefly I discussed. So I like to end with the quote of Swami Vivekananda ji. As I started with the quote of Rabindranath Tagore ji, that the purpose of education was not only to provide the information, but to live the life in the harmony. That was of the Rabindranath Tagore. I'll end with the great quote of Swami Vivekananda ji. He said, education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain to run riot there, undigested all over life. We must have life building, mind making, character making, assimilation of ideas. If you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life and character, you have more education than any man who has got by heart a whole library. Very important for you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to discuss on this platform. Thank you so much. If anybody
Thank you,
has
sir.
ask.
Yes. Dear participants and all dignitaries, if you have any query, then you may ask questions.
Anybody
Yes,
can ask a
anybody?
question. I hope that my this topic
I'm
was.
audible, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, because
So if I'm audible, I have 2 queries for you. And first of all,
Yes, sir, you are audible.
first of all, let me congratulate that it's very wonderful, nice, sincere. So my first query is, sir, the basic difference between the deemed university and private universities. Can you give more light on that? And my second question is, sir, when you were explaining the central universities, the statutes and the affiliations, it just comes under the category of higher education review, the controlling part, or it just comes under the category of HRD, Human Resource Development Department. Ministry of HRD.
Yeah. No, see, first part, I'm going to reply. This difference between deemed university and the state university. Deemed university, deemed to be, it is called deemed to be university. The deemed to be university is through Act of Parliament, where the state university is through the state legislation. Deemed to be university sometimes may not have right to award degrees, where the state university has right to award degrees under Section 22 of the UGC Act 1957. This is the difference. Then what you said about regarding the second one?
Sir, for the second one is central government universities comes under Ministry of HRD or Ministry of Higher Education.
Central University.
Central universities.
Central
Under the
University.
purview.
Now we call it Department of Higher Education, under the Higher Education list. The MHRD is not abolished now. This is Higher Education. The Ministry of Higher Education. Thank you so much for asking question. Anybody?
Here, if you have, I have been repeatedly saying that you should, all of you should read the National Education Policy document. There is only 66 pages. So in that, many things are on the first page itself. It is given that Ministry of HRD, Human Resource Development, to be changed to nomenclature to be changed to Ministry of Education. Within the Ministry of Education, there are two parts. One is dealing with the higher education and other is dealing with the school education. Both are headed by civil servants, bureaucrats, those who are IAS officers. And so far as the deemed university is concerned, see the basic difference between deemed university and all other universities, whether it is state university, whether it is open university or central university, state private university, state public universities. One basic difference between deemed university and all these universities is that deemed university is not created by the act, whereas all other universities are created by an act. Maybe act, if it is created by the act of parliament, then it becomes a central university. If it is created by the act of the assembly, then it becomes a state university, maybe state public university or state private university. But in the case of a deemed university, which is, as Dr. Singh rightly mentioned, it is actual terminology is deemed to be university. It is deemed, an institution is deemed to be a university because of its excellence, because of its niche area, because of the good work that that institution has done. So it is just by a letter. Ministry of Education issues a letter, but it gets the inspection first of all done through University Grants Commission, which is the main regulating authority for higher education. After that inspection is done by the subject experts, then Ministry of Education awards the status of deemed to be university, which is short form is deemed university. So it is given for 10 years. That institution can award degree. So it is like because of its status, because of its achievements, like say BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani became deemed university in late 60s because of its performance. So it was entitled and empowered to award degrees. That's why deemed to be university. Though it's not created by the act. That's why deemed to be. If something is created by that is university. Any type of university, any form of university. But if it is not created by the act, it is awarded this status because of its performance in a niche area, because of its excellence, whichever area in it. Say, for example, TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, it's a deemed university. TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, is again a deemed university. So many such institutions are there. So they are not actually created by the act. So that is why this terminology, deemed to be. If any institution is created by the act of parliament or assembly, then it is a university, whatever form. All types have been very well explained by Dr. Arvind Singh. So, but in the case of a deemed to university, deemed to, why deemed to शब्द लगाते ही क्यों हैं? Because it is not created by the act, but because of its excellence, through inspection of the subject experts, etc., if they recommend, then ministry gives this status for 10 years, which can be renewed. And every institution, of course, gets it renewed every 10 years. Say even Narsimonji, for example, say if we come to private sector again. So Narsimonji NMIS University, which is based at Mumbai, is a deemed university. It's not a state university, it's a deemed university. Similarly, even this what we call Symbiosis University Pune initially was deemed university, but then it later on turned into the full-fledged state university. So deemed universities are initially the concept was conceived in late 1950s to give excellence to those which have done a great job, excellent job in their area, selected area, and that is how this came. But over the period of time, fortunately or unfortunately, the basis didn't remain that niche area. So any institution can apply and claim having done great job in a particular area or particular geographical area and so on and so forth. So deemed status is provided. So after 10 years, again a visit happens, again, though it can be withdrawn after 10 years, but normally that is not done. If some of you remember a few years back, I think in 2009 or so, 9 and 10, 44 universities were identified by a committee headed by Professor Tandon. They were deemed universities, and it was recommended they should be taken away the status of deemed university because they have not performed up to the mark. Say, for example, faculty is not enough, or research has not been done, because research is a signifying element of any university, because that is the highest. University is the highest institution in terms of in the higher education. Like say even there, for example, out of those 44 universities, one was this in Lakshmangarh, what is Modi Institute of Engineering and Technology. Modi, that is a deemed, that was a deemed university. That was also recommended to be the status of deemed university should be withdrawn. Similarly, in Haridwar, there is one university which is like that. There were 44 universities, although that withdrawal didn't happen ultimately, but it is what was recommended. So it can be done. And every deemed university has to go for reassessment in a way after 10 years. This is the basic difference. That is why this terminology, deemed to be. But if it is created by act, it is created by act, then it is called a university in any category which Dr. Singh has already explained. But deemed to be because it is not created by act. It's created by the performance that it has made, and of course, if the subject experts sent by the University Grants Commission recommend, then Ministry of Education, through UGC again, issues a letter. This is the basic difference that we have to remember. So, in the case of a deemed university, Government of India directly comes into picture. Whereas in a, say, for example, state private university or state public university, state comes into picture directly. So because of many times in the past, because of the political interference at the state level, many people felt, particularly in private sector, felt that it is better to go for deemed status than to go for the private university, because state level politicians will not interfere. So that was one of the reasons for preferring to go for this deemed status. But then when in 2009-10 this thing happened, Tandon committee, see, one committee was made to assess the performance of deemed universities, because at that time, early 20s, you can say 2000s, many universities were given deemed status. Many universities. Number rose, jumped like anything. So it became a matter of concern that those which were awarded this deemed status, were they really deserving. So, and ultimately, as I said, Dr. Tandon was the chairman. That Tandon committee recommended 44 universities to be withdrawn this deemed status. Though that didn't happen because they went to the Supreme Court, and then all of us know it is a long drawn process and all that. But in the meantime, some universities made efforts to overcome the deficiencies. They had deficiencies. They have overcome the deficiencies and they have become better now. And all other basic fundamental things have already been explained by Dr. Arvind Singh very effectively. So I hope that all of you would remember, because these things are basics. You are in higher education. You should know these things. You must know these things. You must remember these things. Higher education begins from college. College comes under higher education. College and then university. And in now, many cases, the distinction is also reduced. Earlier, there was a clear distinction. No university earlier would offer undergraduate education. Every university department, UTD, used to be focused on postgraduate education only. Postgraduate education and doctoral research. Whereas colleges were mainly focused on undergraduate education. But then, over the period of time, that distinction has gone, because now many universities are they started for example, engineering. For example, our own Devi Ahilya University, it started IET, which is more like part of the constituent part of the Devi Ahilya University. So now the current status is that at college level also undergraduate, postgraduate degrees happening. It is education is provided or imparted at the postgraduate at the university level also. Now we have undergraduate level, like in our case, undergraduate education. That has happened in every university now, even the public universities like Devi Ahilya, undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctor. But then NEP also mentions, which is a very radical decision, that affiliation system to go. It has to be scrapped. You see, this affiliation system was started by Britishers, and they scrapped it in their country long back. But it is still continuing in 4 countries which were controlled and ruled by Britishers: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. But our NEP has taken this radical step that yet it must go, because it is burdening the teachers, and then we ask them to do research. And universities, same thing happens in the case of university teachers as well as college teachers. Therefore, let us go for decentralization. All institutions should become either research-based universities or institutions. Secondly, teaching universities. So research universities, teaching universities. In third category, autonomous degree awarding institutions, which will be happening for the first time in India. Autonomous colleges have been there since 1950s, early 60s. But what will happen first time is autonomous degree granting college. So all good institutions, all good colleges having 3,000 and more students should be given this status so that they can award degrees also, khas taur se, particularly undergraduate degrees. So norms have also been made for all these 3 categories of institutions, degree granting institutions in the country. Because so far in our country, only universities can award degree, whatever type of university. But now even autonomous degree colleges will come up as we will proceed towards implementation of this NEP 2020. So NEP 2020 has many radical steps. So as we go on implementing, we'll see education system in India, both school education system as well as higher education system is going to change. And as Dr. Singh said, that first time, earlier we used to have the Gurukul system. In India, we used to have the Gurukul system. Besides these universities, like as he has mentioned, this Nalanda University was the first university. It is considered to be the first university in the world, considered, but worldwide recognition is yet to come. But we, as per our literature and scriptures, Nalanda happens to be first university in the world, and it is believed, as per the literature, that scholarship was very prominent, and there used to be people from other countries who would aspire to be in Nalanda. It was created in 400 and something, 414 or 415 CE. And then we had Takshashila, we have Vikramshila, and so on. There were a number of universities, but ultimately, so far as the other than university system was concerned, Gurukul system was there. And that we lost that system when in 1857, we know more for mutiny, first battle for independence. We know more about it as a first battle for independence. It's also called mutiny, 1857. But in 1857, 3 universities were established by Britishers in India. So as mentioned, Dr. Singh has mentioned, one was University of Calcutta or Calcutta University. Second was Madras, University of Madras. And third was University of Bombay. These 3 universities were established in 1857 itself, in the same year. And then later on, other universities came. BHU came in 1916. Then Elgin Muslim University came. Delhi University came. Large number, that all you know. But this is how system changed from 1857. So affiliated system was introduced. Affiliation system was introduced by Britishers, which NEP strongly says that it has to go. NEP is no more a recommendation. It is to be implemented only. And implementation process has already started. So even for what should be the faculty requirement, eligibility, suitability for faculty for each of these 3 types: research-based universities, teaching universities, and autonomous. I was in that committee. How to have energized, motivated faculty. This is the terminology used in NEP. And what should be their qualification? What should be their background? All that we have made, which will be gradually implemented. So education system is going to, higher education as well as the school education system is going to certainly change very significantly by 2035. So primarily, most of the things it is mentioned in the NEP itself. By 2030 we should complete, but that won't happen. But yes, by 2035, everything is to be implemented, and after 2035, new committee will be set up to recommend further reforms in our higher education, both school and higher education. This is how it is. So education is a very important element of any society, any country. If you look into the progression of any developed country, you would see they have grown because of education. Education has a very important role. And we are simply having our gross enrollment ratio, even today, is less than 30%. That means those who pass out from school, out of them, only 30% reach higher education, that is colleges and universities, which is more than 70% in the case of United States, in the case of United Kingdom, and so on. So we have to achieve that, but it has to be achievable. That is why NEP has mentioned it should be 50%, 50% by 2030. So we have the challenge before all of us is to achieve 50% gross enrollment ratio GER by 2030. That is challenging because we are at less than 30% at present. That is the challenge for all educational institutions. That is the challenge for us also, how to do that. We need to announce the programs, we need to make the programs, degrees, diplomas, which for which students from far off places have access. To give opportunity, not of course, rural students staying in rural areas do come. But where is the problem? Where institutions are not there? If institutions are there, see, there is a large number of institutions in the country which are having even less than 500 enrollments. There are a number of institutions, namesake, in far off rural areas, which are having less than 100 enrollments. So that is the problem. So therefore, many institutions need to be combined so that consortium could be created and we can give access to most of the students, most of the prospective students in the country. Then only gross enrollment ratio will increase. See the logic before logic for in the case of our university to start agriculture. Why agriculture? Because that is what is of interest of the young boys, girls staying in rural areas or semi-rural areas. So that more of them can come and that they then in that sense, they will add to GER, gross enrollment ratio. And we are seeing that that's where we are having problems with language. We are having a large number of students, even in engineering, from semi-rural areas, rural areas. And that is the right step because that is what is going to add to gross enrollment ratio. And we need to do it, keep on doing it. At the same time, the medium is important. So we need to strengthen their language. On the international platform, on the global platform, there are not going to be any barriers so far as work is concerned during the times to come. Therefore, language is important. If we restrict students with Hindi, then their reach for placements will be limited. We have to have English because that happens to be the global language so that they can go anywhere in the world. And that's how the whole world is looking at us because we are young India. Average age of our working age people is just 29, which is also coming down gradually. So these are all challenges. We need to do it. Besides English, Hindi is also important because that is our mother tongue. That remains mother tongue. So that has to be promoted. But then at the same time, for giving global exposure, for increasing the scope of placements anywhere in the world for the students, we shall have to strengthen the English. And that also applies to teachers, young faculty. Because global language which is spoken anywhere in the world, everywhere in the world, needs to be strengthened. See, in terms of your publications, you are expected to be scholars, you are expected to publish. All that happens in English. So that's why, besides Hindi, of course, mother tongue has to be there, but then at the same time, language needs to be strengthened. That's why this year we are introducing some more courses in English or so far as communication is concerned. So these are some of the challenges. And then at the same time, Dr. Arvind Singh has made a very detailed presentation. And my only appeal to all of you is to remember these things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody wants to ask questions? Okay. Thank you, sir, for this insightful and enriching session. Now I would like to invite the coordinator of Udbhavana, Dr. Seema Vagura, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this session. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's session successful. First and foremost, I thank our speaker, Dr. Arvind Singh, Registrar SVV Indore, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this session. I thank our sources of inspiration, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Rupinder Dhar, Dr. SVIS Dr. Ken Guruprasad, Head Department of Mathematics Dr. Satish Shukla, for their support and guidance. My heartfelt thanks to the faculty, staff, and students of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya for their support. Last but not the least, I thank to all who have worked hard to ensure that this session becomes a memorable success. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.